So Colin, what are you most proud of with the club?
We've got a really strong committee, Alex. There's 18 positions on our committee and they're all filled. Everyone knows their roles. We've had a stable executive for a number of years now, as well as the general committee, and that's allowed us to implement key aspects of our strategic plan. 3 or 4 years ago we sat down and put a 5-year strat plan together. We've got 2 years to go on that. Most of our KPIs, if you like, have been met. It's satisfying that happens. We're moving towards certainly self-sufficiency financially to a part. We've grown our financial base over recent years pretty significantly. Another thing that really stands out for me is the camaraderie that I see at Treloar Shield meets. That's, for those who don't know, the inner club meets, state championship meets, down to our Tuesday night weekly events, which are the staple diet of the club.
Your club has a strong history in athletics, one event being the Albie Thomas 90 miles. Tell us a bit about this event this year.
Well, Albie Thomas set up a Australian record of 358.6 in 1958, and he died a couple of years ago, and we now set up a memorial run for him. This year we had a really strong competition. We had 2 guys under 4:10 or 4:6, and it was a really great competition. We're attracting more and more elite athletes in, and this year we hope to get a few, because it's Olympic year, we'll probably get a few international runners and a few interstate runners coming to run. So hopefully we can have the first sub 4-minute mile in Bankstown. It'll be great.
That'll be great.
With that, we've also have another event on here, and last year I think we had 6 qualifiers for the Olympics and 4 Com Games, and 4 for World Juniors.
Can we expect to see any Bankstown athletes in Rio 2016?
We certainly can. I'm hoping that Yusuf will get his 3rd Olympic Games up. He's sort of back into training. He's come back and he's doing well. He's sort of on target. So we'll have Yusuf, Isaac Nematoa, 4x1, possibly the 100, and Kevin Moore, he'll be in the 200. And also there's a chance for Jack Hicking in the pole vault, which will be great because it'll be a field event athlete for us.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it'll be really good. For World Juniors, we should also have Beth Croft is looking really strong at this stage. Also is Taylor John and Ed Trippers. So those 2 guys I know for juniors they're good chances. They'll definitely be in the final. They'll definitely be in the top 5. They just got to get top 3 and get a qualifier.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you think the club gives them great support leading from juniors into that international?
It does. It does. It gives fantastic support. If we don't actually have that support, it makes it really difficult for them. So because you need that backing to help, so they can actually not worry about how they're going to live, but how they can actually get their times and get their training done. So if you cut out all the minor things out of the athletes' planning, and then leave that to the coach, and the club helps us support that in a big way, and it's great. It's really good. Yep.
So you've got 12,000 likes, I hear, on your Facebook page.
Well, on the YouTube page, yeah.
YouTube page, sorry.
So I mean, it's a decision we made earlier in the year, leading into the summer season and the Australian Athletics Tour. The great benefit of having so many gun athletes is that they're great stories to tell. We had 5 Australian junior champions this year and 5 Olympians in London. So we made the decision that we wanted to invest in multimedia content and the digital promotion of the club, and Sports Club are good enough to help us get the tools to do that. This year we did, myself and Dad flew up to Brisbane for the national championships, and we did some interviews with some national champions, and all of our own athletes are up there. We had 6 reps up there this year. Cut in race footage and event footage and interviews with our own athletes, and what we're finding is that that's what particularly young people want on social media these days. It's one thing to have articles and website content, but if you don't have photos and videos and interviews that they can share with their friends, that's the stuff that's really beginning to drive a lot of this traffic. And hopefully we can start selling to sponsors, but more so just to get out the word of the great stories that exist in local junior sport. but which so often don't get told just because there aren't the means to do that. So it's been a big focus for us, and it's been pretty successful. It's a brilliant way these days to spread the message, to promote your club and your athletes, particularly in a sport like athletics, which is never going to have a $1 billion broadcast rights deal like rugby league or AFL. So we need to leverage all of the opportunities that we have to get out the word, because granted they are limited, but the good thing about it is that it's at a level of access where it can be done by pretty well anyone in a junior sporting club or senior sporting club environment. It's quite easy to do. It's just a matter of investing in it and having the desire to see it through.
Would you be up for putting up your hand to assist some of these other clubs in the
Always. I mean, as Dad was saying earlier, we get so much support from the sports club, and we're always keen to give back. I think that the next big frontier, particularly for our sport, is live streaming, and that's happened a lot in a lot of sports. Anything we can do to help spread that through other sports, and particularly in the Sports Club network, I'm sure we'd be more than happy to help out with.
Oh, that would be great. So everyone, get a hold of Matt tonight. Shout him a drink. It's actually on us. So there you go.
It's a good night.
So what's been the biggest change or challenge you've seen for the club, and what are you most proud of the committee achieving?
Yeah, I mean, I think over the last 7 or 8 years, the thing I've been proudest of and that's changed the most is that the level that we've aspired to get to. I mean, when we got here, there was a bank balance of about 7,000 or 8,000. I think we were a distant 8th in the New South Wales Championship, and we were just sort of plodding along. I mean, it was a great little community club, but that's as high as it was. And I think the thing I'm proudest of is that we wanted to be world class. And the good thing about that sort of planning is that even if you shoot for the stars and fall a little bit short, you're still going to do very well. Where if you only aim to be a good community club, that's all you're ever going to be, even if you achieve everything you want to achieve. So, I mean, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, we set out a strap plan that said within 5 years we want to win the New South Wales Championship. And everyone in the room, including myself and the new president, laughed our heads off and said, "You've got to be kidding, no chance we're going to do that." We won it in 3, and we've just won our 5th straight. So we've got 2 years until we're the all-time record holders. It was unimaginable that we'd have 5 athletes at an Olympic Games, and we did that in 5 years.
5 junior champions.
Yeah, 5 Australian junior champions.
Like Lindsay and Matt spoke earlier about the amount of elite athletes we've got in the club, and that's crucial to the overall success at the elite level. But I'm really proud of the scope of our membership. We have young kids down here tonight training with Crofty and others that they're 8 years of age. Their parents bring them down. They're committed to the sport. They're committed to see their kids grow. Our oldest member, Bert Jourdain's 92 years of age now. He's ran for the club for years, and it's just a really satisfying thing to have not only elite athletes, as I said, like Linz and Matt touched on, but the breadth of our membership. As far as the sports club goes, the amount of money we get off you guys for lighting, coaching, our summer and winter incentive schemes, junior development, the uniforms, etc. It's a great attraction to the club. I've said it a million times, I'm like a broken record, we're all in the sports club's debt for the amount of money we get and the amount of support we get. We're incredibly grateful. Yeah, it's great.